Alright, welcome to episode 7 of What If Civilization Started Over. These colours are just from a previous map. But in the last episode we had a big war with Caucasia. I think I haven't actually released episode 6, I think that's which one it is. Should be. So I don't know which thumbnail I did, but I have plans to make it a cool different one. So hopefully you like that. I don't know, maybe. Anyway, they lost a lot of territory. They lost some to the orange, the pink team, and they lost mostly this blue and Crimean country. They both exist now. And some people escaped over here to Central Asia, kind of Kazakhstan, I think. Otherwise, it wasn't too much because that took a long time. The red team invaded the small blue country that was here, which broke their agreement because they trusted the red team. And we're going to look at how red team nationalism is going to affect the country after that. Also, random country in Bengal came into existence, so did a French one, and there was maybe some other stuff, but it probably wasn't that important, like expansion into Iberia. We need to look at ideologies as well. That's another one. Let's find the right layer. Oh, and religion. I could do that. Let's just take that off for a second. As you can see, the blue team religion is expanding into this Caucasian religion area, and that's probably going to disappear sometime soon. However, this new group over here in Kazakhstan, they're going to continue using the Caucasian religion. The Greek one is kind of getting conquered, maybe, by blue team parts, and otherwise, the Indian one's still strong. I thought I wiped out the blue team's religion in Iran, but apparently I didn't. I was meant to, so I'll try and change that. Otherwise, pretty much the same. So, ideologies, no one else has really changed except for the new countries. Crimea and Ukraine are both monarchies. They've got princes from the blue country ruling their nations. Over here we have aristocracies in Switzerland and France. They're kind of chiefdoms, really. They haven't decided who they want to rule, so just going to decide that sometime soon, or possibly never. Anyway, over here to Bengal, they are a council. They're a council, just like the green, the blue, and the main Indian countries. So there you go. I thought it was Pakistan for a second, but no, I'm pretty sure it's India. Just. And that's about it. So where did I say I was going to start? Probably Spain. Oh yeah, I updated provinces. And the top 10. Let's also look at that, shall we? So it's about 250 BC at this point. I don't know whether I should keep this layer on and maybe make the words smaller. Anyway, the top is the red team, and it's the Persians. Let's actually zoom out a bit so you can kind of get a picture of what's going on. Then it's India, the Bosphorus nation, who we'll probably be talking about a bit today, because they've really grown in power. Poland, I think they were off the top 10, and now they're 5th, so that's huge for them. The Tunisians, makes a lot of sense, massive empire. I could also call them Carthaginians, but I haven't so far. Then it's Caucasia, who fell a very long way, Central Asia, southern Italy, and finally Turkey, the green one, in 10th. So there you go, there's that. And let's actually do some stuff now. Anyway, first off, we have expansion into Iberia. So these guys are going to expand along this northern coast area, and possibly a bit into France, but I don't know if they care that much, because it's all Pyrenees mountains, so meh. Maybe once you get past that, it's worth it, but at this point it's not really. And as for the Tunisian, Carthaginian guys, they are going to expand across this sort of central bit of Spain, and they pretty much own all of Portugal now. In fact, they do, so yeah. In the end, they're just going to partition it in a treaty between these two nations who don't really like each other very much. However, they're going to go to Corsica, and sort it out, so that's nice. And there you go, here's the new borders of Iberia. Let's go up. Why is this map still on? I don't know. France has kind of got a bit of a grace period, if you know what I mean. Switzerland, it's just in the mountains. Italy is very afraid. And you guys need to focus on the eastern territories, because that's where all your friends are. So France is going to rapidly expand across this area, making their way over to the border of Italy, which is kind of where the French people come from. They worship a Greek religion. France is so far away from Greece, but oh well. And they've pretty much taken over all of France. Maybe they're missing like a bit over here. I think that's Belgium. So they're kind of Yeah, and they need this territory. Yeah, they're basically there. So that was pretty massive expansion, but the French could possibly become quite powerful soon. Italy, do you want to expand a little bit? There you go. An entire province's one province worth of expansion. Because they need to ready their military, possibly. Who knows? They might be completely fine or very, very much in danger. Anyway, Poland. Let's talk about this. So, the Polish, they have a massive religion, they've got a massive country, and a massive group of allies. Possibly the biggest alliance. All these guys, I think, are like allied by bloodline. I know the Blue and the Crimeans are, but I'm not sure for you guys. I don't think they'll have overthrown their monarchy, because their monarchy's obviously gone and aligned itself with Poland. So no, I think your monarchs are probably more related to Caucasia, so they're probably not going to get rid of the Caucasian religion anytime soon. Although, it's kind of getting consumed. The people definitely like these guys more though. Anyway, as I mentioned before, Poland is going eastwards more because their allies are over here. So Poland's going to take up this massive sort of Estonia, Western Russian area, and they're going to probably make their way up to Lake Ladoga over here, and also St. Petersburg. So they now have a gigantic empire. Yeah, they might even be stronger than. Well, this land isn't. Well, it kind of is valuable. They could be a real rival for the country above them, which is the Bosphorus Empire, and they're also going to expand over here in Scandinavia, taking a part of Sweden, like the Scania sort of bit. And now the Danes have invaded Sweden. They're going to hate this. They also take Bornholm, which is probably pronounced very badly, but it's a very strategic island, and the Danes currently own that in real life. As for their friends over here in Russia, I guess, they're going to expand a bit. You know, you guys take this important bit of territory and expand around the other side of this river thing. Going all the way up here, and they're going to go down there. And then over here, they both kind of got a good idea of, this is my bit, this is your bit. There you go. But these guys can go eastwards, so they're going to stop going west as much. So a pretty big country for the orange team, and then the pink team, they have a time of expansion. These guys are very friendly, so I wouldn't really worry about loads of competition between them. They're kind of happy to just let each other be strong. I mean, especially the purple and the orange team, they're very linked. Also, the blue team was the three countries that came from Caucasia, so they're all very linked there. Speaking of Caucasia, they're depressed. People are not very happy at all. They've just lost so much power, and to deal with their sadness, they're going to expand into some wasteland. Great. There you go, their country looks really strange. In fact, I might just give up some of this land to these guys. There you go. They weren't going to expand anymore anyway there, so that's probably just a nicer way of making the border look. This bluish country really hasn't done anything in a while, and they're just very isolationist really. However, they're going to expanding quite a long way eastwards, because tales of India, and India making it very far eastwards, have reached this country, and they're thinking, is there another route over towards the east, and to link up with all the money that India is making, because they need money. Their country doesn't really have very valuable territory, but oh well, you deal with what you've got. But now they have a very big country. Persia, they're going to try and expand a little bit, but meh. Persia's actually the second strongest nation, but really their military is carrying that statistic. Their economy just isn't nearly as good as India's, although India's military is rubbish. Bosphorus is just a pretty even split. Their military is very disciplined, and their economy is very good, so yeah. And India. All these guys in southern India kind of get along with this India. They don't all get along with each other, and they're all not very powerful. However, India's kind of like, no wars here. Let's be peaceful and nice, or else I'll attack you. So they'll kind of do what they're told, and it's pretty peaceful in southern India at the moment. As for Bengal, they're just chilling. They're going to expand further down the coast of Myanmar, although a lot of the coast of Myanmar is actually Bangladesh. Well, this bit is. So they have a very long country now, which looks really strange. However, there you go. They can't really go too far north. These lakes mean Himalayan mountains, so that's going to stop your progress a little bit. But let's finally go over to the red team, who's kind of the main thing in this video, sort of. Trade route stuff. So, last time the red team attacked that random country on the trade route. That's not the right layer. Their country on the... That's not the right layer either. Where is this? There we go. This country over here, they had 3 cities. They weren't very strong. They got attacked by the green team and the purple team. However, after that, they kind of solved their differences. So everyone was a bit annoyed at the red team for attacking them, especially people down here. And that's because they're not as nationalistic as all the people who are living up here. Now, looking at the cities, you can see most people live up here. So that's a clear thing. And of course, all the people in the kind of like Arabian area, including even like Egypt, they're very nationalistic, pro-red team, pro-Middle Eastern Empire. However, down here, less so. And that is of course going to result in a bit of a civil war. So down here in Somalia and these areas, people are going to rebel and try and form their own country to get away from the red team. So we see our first rebellion around here. I mean, these areas aren't all that strong, but they're going to try. I'll give it a go. Next up, we have a rebellion over here in Sudan-ish. Is this Sudan? I mean, kinda. This one isn't that rich, but I mean, they both kind of own this area, so maybe they'll be fine. And then there's a third one. I don't know which color to make this. Let's make it purple, pink, maybe. That's a nice color. Cool. And there's a third one over here in the more deserty areas around the Nile. I mean, there's not actually that many cities over here, so to be honest, you might end up looking a bit like this. There you go. So the red team doesn't have much control over these territories, just round about in the rest of Africa. However, they're going to try and keep control of Africa. Well, Africa, Egypt, that's what I'm talking about. The people are quite surprised, you know, there's not a whole lot of like newspapers or anything. They don't exist at this point. However, you know, they're kind of like, oh, I don't know, the people didn't like our country that much. And you get a whole lot of conscription. So although they lose control at this point, because naval invading's tricky, it's always going to be tricky to make a naval invasion. Even if it's a load of armed militia, they're going to struggle with it. So, there you go. And the Somalian country is probably the strongest here. They've got, 3 cities. However, they don't have any navy, so they can't really cross over into Yemen. They don't have any ships that are good enough to do that, and the red team defense will be too powerful. Over here in the Egyptian-Sudanese region, they're going to lose pretty much all their stuff, which is a shame. However, Egypt has more things to worry about, because most of the red team troops are in the north, and therefore, you're not going to have a good time then. They lose a lot of territory very quickly, and in fact they kind of lose their capital city, which is this city. Sudan's going to send some troops up into this area, but what are you guys going to do? I mean, there's not a whole lot you can do. They want Socotra, but they can't really get that, and Sudan's not doing amazingly. The red team will try and make an invasion into Eritrea and Djibouti sort of bit, but it doesn't go too well. I mean, they make the landing, however, you know, you get this, and other people just assault it. How there's infighting within the rebellion, and the Sudanese country, seeing a weakness in this area, will invade and take over this region. The Somalians are not going to be happy about this. However, I mean, to be honest, they don't really have a whole lot to worry about. So, realistically, Sudan is just going to be the punching bag. They can lose this territory, but they don't lose all of it. However, Egypt needs to get more land and resettle and assimilate their forces further south, away from the red team. So they invade into Sudan, and this means that the red team doesn't entirely take them out, although they do take the most valuable areas around the Nile, which apparently has no cities, so that's strange. Anyway, wouldn't it be great for a bit of revenge for a couple countries? As some people want some of their old land back, especially the Tunisian nation. So Tunisia, their military has become a lot stronger, their economy has become a lot better, and they lost these 2 cities a while ago. However, now they're going to come back for them. And this is something the red team really did not predict. They had less troops defending this front because they're all defending southern, whatever it's called, Egypt. And there's just loads of assaults in this area, and the red team is going to have to pull back a lot of its forces from this Egyptian area, and the Egyptians managed to push up and take this city. in the end, the red team is kind of going to have to sign peace with the blue team. It's not going to be a major peace treaty. However, it will be a peace treaty. Because they're dealing with a new threat, which is Caucasia over here in the north. They want their old stuff back, and especially their coast. So really, everyone just wants to get in on attacking the red team whilst they're at their weakest. However, Caucasia is really unsuccessful. I mean, they don't even take a single city. They can't take this city. They're not that weak at this modern point. But I mean, this city's right next to your border, man. Come on. You can surely take that. The red team's beginning to fear countries like Iran. I mean, Persia just does not like them very much at all. And the Turkish could definitely attack, like either the purple or the green country. Crimea is sending support, and it looks like they could possibly join the war with Caucasia. We could get a second Poland-Caucasia war. However, in the end, the red team will sign peace with these rebel forces. So let's have a look at a peace treaty with all of these countries. The red team's of course going to keep Socotra, but yeah, the orange team wanted it. I mean, they can build boats. Like in the future, you can go establish your Socotran holdings, but not right now. Not right now. Sudan is going to gain some of these territories again this bit. And apart from that, they don't get a whole lot. But something like this is alright for them. Does that make the borders look horrendous? Yes. If you said horrendous, you'd be completely correct. Sudan takes over all this territory. And as for this bit in the desert, let's just give that to Somalia. I mean, Sudan really has like 2 cities. Like, they're not going to be doing anything crazy anytime soon. These provinces, these giant provinces out here in the desert, some of the best ones, I think. Especially this one. I really love how this province looks. It's just such a great picture. Yeah, I hate it. But there's some really big ones in this area, which is interesting. Well, it's all desert, so that's why. There you go. And Sudan is going to take the remainder of this sort of long province. I just gave them the ones that they have the majority holding over. That seems like the best way to do it. There you go. And let's move up to this bit of the red team. Oh, actually, the pink team's going to take most of these territories. In fact, all of them. They're going to take all of them. My gosh. The red team has to give up a lot of their Egyptian territories. I mean, I'm sorry if the commentary here is really bad. I feel like it probably is. Yeah, I know. I know it's not great. What is that border, man? Come on, man. You can do it. Does it really look like... Yeah, it does. It does actually really look like that. That's a shame. I don't know what the old border... Oh, I do actually. I can actually just set that back. Kind of. So, I guess we give the red team this territory. So the blue team gained a few extra provinces from the last time the red team attacked them. Like they didn't have this one. They didn't have this bit or this bit, but the rest of it they had. So not massive gains for the blue team, but it is some territory. And the red team has really lost control over here in Egypt and just Africa in general. The final bit of the war is over here in Caucasia. You're not going to gain much. Yeah, I'm sorry. You're not the guy you used to be. So the red team will lose, I mean, not take. You're not gaining anything here, mate. Sorry. It's very patchy. That's because I want to give them majority provinces again, so I'm doing that. Anyway, you gain a few territories. It's nothing crazy, but it could be worse. You know, you could have not gained any land at all. The red team didn't need to peace out with you. It's just the people were like, yeah, we're rubbish at this. Oopsie. Can we please peace out? The red team is probably the most populous country on Earth. So, yeah, most of you people live really close to this border. Well, not really close, but around here. So they're going to have a big effect. Lots of people live in Baghdad. And yeah, the red team's empire is significantly smaller, but it's still absolutely massive. So I wouldn't worry too much. Let's go. Oh my god, that's what they dream about. Let's go over to this cool country. I keep wanting to say Uralic. It's not Uralic. I mean, it kind of is. It's near the Urals-ish. But as in, the Uralic peoples are people who came from the Urals and then went to Europe, I'm pretty sure. However, these guys have done the opposite. They've gone from Caucasia and made it all the way into the Urals. They now have a massive nation, which is very nice. They're kind of following the blue team idea of expanding over here into Asia. The blue team's going to reach this lake as well. I'm going to have so much fun drawing these provinces tonight. Yippee for me. Anyway, they reach over to this lake. Cool looking country, I think. I like this bit. I don't know why, but I do like how this bit looks over here. Yeah, massive empires. Time to expand France. The UK has been discovered, which means yeah, they just take over everything. No one's going to go to the UK for a while, just because they don't care enough. France wants to grab up French stuff at the moment, so might as well just let them do that. Switzerland, in a very Switzerland-like fashion, has done nothing. However, finally they will come out of their, what's the word? Oh, dormant? What's the word? Hibernation, there you go. And take some more mountains, although they're kind of in, like, Bavaria at this point, so that's quite good. Munich's there. There's lots of rivers in southern Germany. And resources, because mountains bring stuff up. Anyway, do you want to go another war just to finish off today's episode? I think that's what you'd like to see. Because the red team, they haven't done anything yet today. And, well, this guy has, but not the Bosphorus one. And in fact, I might need to find a new name for these guys. So, we'll see if I can figure that out by the end of the episode. Let's see. They're going to be invading this country. You might think, no, they shouldn't do that. I have to get into war with Greece as well. Greece does not care. So the red team will move in to this greenish country. They have a monarch who's related to the green team's Greek royal family, I mean. The Greeks are not helping them. The Greeks are scarred from their war with the Romans. When I say Romans, I mean red team. So they're not joining this war. And the red team will push around this area and take basically the entire Italian part of this nation. And then it's going to get to... I can't talk today. They're going to get some support from the southern Italians who will invade this country. That was easy. They're not very strong. The southern Italians are actually, like, they're number 9, I think. And in the end, the red team will take out most of this country. However, a certain somebody will be joining the war. I wonder who it's going to be. It's going to be crazy. It's the French. Whoa. Let's just colour them in this colour, because I can't be bothered to get one up for them. I guess the southern Italians could have invaded here. I might give them some stuff. But, me. Oh, there's new expanded provinces. I might... No, I don't think it'll matter. It won't matter. Let's do this then. You guys, this is going to be simple. You take over this entire nation. The red team doesn't care. You can just have that. From here, you're also going to be allowed to take these provinces. Because the red team and the southern Italians get on quite well. Just, they're probably a bit worried now. And the red team will take over the remainder of the nation, and possibly a bit more. The southern Italians take over these 2 provinces. That's nice. They missed out on, is this Marseille? It kind of is where Marseille is. Whilst the red team takes another city around here. This small bit. And also this bit. So there you go. Is that everything sorted? Because from there the French will finally take their southern French coast. They just got Marseille. And I kind of want to give them this bit, but I won't. So I'll hold off doing that. But now the red team has conquered Italy. And yes, I spoiled the surprise. My mind is just, it's so quick, you know. Wow. I really avoided spoiling the surprise, but yes. You know, they've conquered Italy, so in a poetic way, let's call them the Romans. I mean, they have the city where the Byzantine Empire was. It just makes so much sense. They're red. Why not make them the Romans? I saw somebody in my comments from like episode 5, I think. They mentioned about southern Italy being kind of like the Romans. No. Southern Italy is cool and all. I mean, they've got lots of territories the Romans had. But they're not Roman. The red team's Roman. And I think there's going to be a bit more expansion by the red team in following episodes. Anyway, I just remembered something I didn't do. So let's turn this back on, because we need to do provinces. Not provinces. Major cities for these countries. So I was going to finish the video here, but oh well, I guess not. So you've got two cities, you're going to put one here, you got cheated out of one by the Sudanese. They're going to put their capital over here, and you're going to put yours right there. That was easy. And that's the video, pretty much. I hope you enjoyed this video. It had some cool new countries in Africa. We're now pretty aligned to the blue team, so I might get some African religion down here. Maybe like an offshoot. I don't know what color to do the religions. I just do it with the country who started it, but I could do like religions related, so this religion comes from this religion, so it's a similar color. I'm not sure, but anyway, the world is very explored by this point. Episode 7, we've already got this far. It's really nice. I like it a lot. So, if you enjoyed the video, please subscribe, like, and put your comments in. I think by this point, I've probably created a Discord, so join that if you want. I mean, if you talk about something on there, I'm probably going to talk to you back, because there's going to be like 3 people on there. I don't think many people are going to join, but if you want to, sure. Sounds nice. Anyway, thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, and I will see you again next time. Goodbye.